Good morning. There is a rare disease that affects some children, and the only help is a gluten-free diet. And joining us this morning is Kelly Brexler, and she has a 3-year-old son who is affected with this. And also Dr. Drago Tolosa is also joining us. He's a pediatric GI physician at T.C. Thompson Children's Hospital to talk about celiac disease. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
First of all, let's start with you, doctor. What is celiac disease? A lot of us haven't even heard of this disease.
Yeah, celiac disease is it's one of the autoimmune diseases, and those diseases are the ones that the body kind of attacks on its own self. And it mainly manifests itself with malabsorption, poor growth, weight loss. But the biggest thing about this is that if it's mainly triggered by a protein in wheat, rye, and barley. So if we are able to take that out of the diet, these kids basically become disease-free.
This is hard to diagnose in the pediatric office because kids have numerous problems, right?
That's exactly right. Really, thinking about it is the issue, and most primary cares don't think about it, both pediatricians and adult physicians. So basically, it can be diagnosed initially with a blood test, and after that we take little samples of the small intestine to finally diagnose it. So it's not that hard to diagnose, but it's hard to think about it.
Right. How did you find out that your son was affected by this?
He showed all the classic symptoms: failure to thrive, had extensive GI issues. We had been everywhere from here to Vanderbilt. We're told that he had anything from rheumatoid arthritis to neuroblastoma. Finally, after a bunch of WebMDing on my own part, called Dr. Tolosa's office and got in, and after telling him, of course, the clear symptoms, Dr. Tolosa immediately suggested that to test him for celiac, and 7 days later we found out that's what he had.
But the nice thing is there are things you can do if you take the gluten out of their diet. But now you guys have a support group coming up. It actually meets tonight to teach us how to do that, because gluten is in a lot of things.
It's in several things, especially for children that you wouldn't think about: Play-Doh, some crayons and paint. So school, especially with school starting, it's just
everywhere.
It's a complete, yes. All school lunches generally have gluten in their lunches, and so it's real hard to navigate. And so to be able to help those people would be just phenomenal.
And that's what this is all about, to teach folks how to do that.
Yes.
Now let's go ahead and clear this up. A lot of us have heard about a gluten-free, casein-free diet for those folks that have children with autism. This is not the same thing, right?
That's exactly right. We are strictly talking about the autoimmune disease, that is well diagnosed with blood test and small intestinal biopsies.
And it's not as rare as people might think.
It's not. Actually, we think that the incidence and the prevalence has gone up since good blood testing came around about 18, 19 years ago.
And we should tell folks that you and your husband don't have this, so it doesn't mean it's necessarily from the parent to child.
No, ma'am. Jack does express the genetic gene for it, but we have been tested, and it has not shown up in either one. So.
Very interesting. Does your whole family go gluten-free now?
We took our whole kitchen when we moved recently gluten-free because, frankly, it's just easier. It's expensive to take on a gluten-free diet just because you want to, or you think it's the healthy thing to do. It's extremely, extremely expensive.
That's one of the things you guys are going to talk about in this support group, some ways to make it a little more economical for families as well.
Mm-hmm. We'll be doing that, and it's open to adults too that have this issue, and children, and we have had an unbelievable response. I'm expecting over 50 people tonight.
Well, we want to put the information on the screen for you now so you can find out more about this. If you think you might have this, or your child might have this, or you just want some more information on having a gluten-free diet in your home, you can come to Gluten-Free Chattanooga. The Educational Enhancement Group meeting is tonight at 7 p.m. at the Thompson Room at Erlanger Hospital. 423-664-2520 gets you more information. 664-2520. You can also call T.C. Thompson Children's Hospital. You can ask to speak to Dr. Tolosa's office, and you leave a message there, because this is just a simple blood test to see if your child may have these symptoms, and a good way to fix this problem. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Stay with us. We're going to take a short break. If you need more information on gluten-free Chattanooga, it's at our website, WDEF.com.